What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Pay-Per-Viewpoint edition of the Smark Moment Smack Talk podcast. I am your host, as always, Tony Mango, and this is the WWE NXT TAKEOVER Chicago Pay-Per-View special event predictions, spoiler, breakdown, rundown, etc. match card. Yeah, there's a million things that goes along with this, but essentially what it is predictions for NXT TakeOver Chicago is what we're going to break down here. So I am really the only one that's part of the panel that has been following NXT, so everybody pretty much opted out. They were like, I don't really want to talk about that, I don't know what's going on, that kind of a thing. So that's why I'm coming to you solo for this edition, but nonetheless, we got some stuff we got to talk about, so let's just dive right into this with the most inconsequential match of the entire night, which is Roderick Strong versus Eric Young. Now, that was something that was kind of a little bit alluded to ahead of time, but not the strongest out of all the matches, and it's sort of coming off as kind of almost, I don't want to say go so far as to say pointless, but this is very much reflective of that Tye Dillinger feud that Eric Young had going on for a little bit, except for it's just kind of like a weakened version of it, because this thing with Roderick Strong started with Tye Dillinger. He was one of the people that sort of helped him fight Sanity for a little bit there. And now it's like they're just sort of picking up the bones of the leftovers of that feud, and that kind of sucks. I mean, there's not really all that much to go with. And Roderick Strong and Eric Young can have a good match, so that's a good thing about it. But at the same time, the feud itself is just sort of lackluster, so I'm not really into it all that much. I'm actually more concerned with what are they going to do after the match, because we don't have a lot of people on this card that I would have thought would have been on the card. Aleister Black's not wrestling on the card. Drew McIntyre isn't. Cassius Ohno isn't. We haven't seen No Way Jose in God knows how long. So we know that, for the most part, Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane should be, if not a guarantee, a very, very high likelihood of interfering in this match. So if they're interfering in any capacity, whether it's to help Eric Young win or it's to attempt to help him win and then they don't actually get able to do that, or maybe Roderick Strong... Actually, he doesn't even need to win the match. I was going to say if Roderick Strong wins the match and then they jump him afterward, he doesn't even need to win the match for them to jump him. But maybe it's like a post-match beatdown sort of a thing, and then we get some of those guys to sort of help out Roderick Strong and set up, like, 2 weeks from now on NXT, we're going to have a street fight or something like that. Because they could do that. I mean, they're doing some gimmicks here and there, and it's not like there's anything stopping them from continuing this whole 3-on-3 type of feud with Sanity. And it might actually even carry over a little bit more into the Ruby Riott thing, but I don't think that that's going to be another 3 men and a woman versus 3 men and a woman type of thing. We already did that, so yeah, that's... I mean, they are retreading it with Strong and Young, so maybe they will retread it, I don't know. Either way, I think that this is the type of thing that just is going to fly under the radar, and it's not going to amount to all that much. And really, who cares? That's a nice way to put it, I guess. Oh, it's not even really nice, but oh well. So, the other match that I think... Actually, you know what? I mean, this card, now that I'm looking at it, I was going to say the other match that doesn't matter. Really, I got a feeling none of these matches matter, because I sort of think that we're not going to see anything all that interesting happen. The United Kingdom Championship match, Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, I rule out immediately, because I think if they have a new champion before they even do this TV show, that's going to be a little bit weird. Pete Dunne could very well win the title. And if they do have him win the title, it's not like Tyler Bate's been doing all that much, so it's not like, oh man, he didn't get his fucking rightful title reign. They're not doing anything with these guys. And we know that in the meantime, I'm recording this Wednesday night, by the way. So that whole UK special that they've pre-recorded ahead of time and that they were planning on airing on Friday, that hasn't happened yet. And we know the spoilers already. We know that it's Pete Dunne wins a title match, which it's kind of defeating the purpose of that sort of a thing. But I do think Pete Dunne will have that title at some point. But I don't think that it's going to happen here. I think that it would be a little bit weird if the United Kingdom Championship changed hands, not only on NXT, but that it would change hands well before they've even established some kind of a TV show. So that match could be good. I mean, they had a good match before, so it's something that it's not a bad thing to do this. It's certainly not a bad thing to keep the United Kingdom Championship in, our consciousness and everything like that. But similar to some of the other matches on the card, I just don't think that this is going to amount to all that much. I think that this is going to be one of those pay-per-views where we're going to look back and we're going to go, yeah, was it really necessary? Because we didn't get anything. Like, we didn't get these title changes. We didn't get these brand new debut matches or anything that really kind of makes this memorable. And a little bit of that goes over into the tag team title match. It's the Authors of Pain versus DIY, and this is a ladder match, so that's going to be good. And we know that these two teams have had matches before where they've been good, but they've also had matches with the Revival, so I got a feeling it's not going to be as good as what we've been seeing before. But the fact that it's a ladder match is making me a little bit questionable about whether or not we are going to get a title change, because we could get DIY winning those belts if that's their way to take it off of the Authors of Pain without having them lose, like by pinfall or something like that. A ladder match is the type of match that you can lose and you still look strong, because all the other team did is walk up a ladder and grab a belt. So I do think that there's a possibility, but as far as how much of that possibility is, I'm leaning more 75% in favor of the Authors of Pain. And I think that one of the reasons why that's the case is because I think that we could be seeing DIY move up to the main roster on either the Raw or the Smackdown after Backlash. If we do, right now I'm actually leaning a little bit more towards Monday Night Raw is where they're going to go. But that's something that I've been kind of going back and forth about a little bit. I thought SmackDown originally. Then Breezango turned face. Now on SmackDown, we've got Breezango, American Alpha, and we'll eventually get the New Day. On Raw, we have the Hardy Boys, and we have Enzo and Cass. As far as babyface teams go, I should have clarified that ahead of time. We also have still technically Heath Slater and Rhino, but we no longer have the Golden Truth. That team's not even a heel team anymore. They just split up entirely. So we do sort of need another heel team, maybe another babyface team or something like that. And I could see the Hardy Boys maybe turning heel down the line, but now that Cesaro and Sheamus did, I don't know. It's all kind of up in the air like that. But we might not even see DIY move up to the main roster. They might win the titles here and just kind of hang around like that for a little bit. The main reason why I think that we're not going to get new champions, though, and part of it is just because of the fact that the Authors of Pain are pretty much undefeated and stuff, but Heavy Machinery is being set up. Now, they're being set up as babyfaces. If you were to have them as heels, I could think that DIY would stand a chance. But maybe they are the ones that challenge the Authors of Pain coming up soon. Maybe they get involved with something with Sanity in the future. Maybe DIY fights Sanity. I don't know. It's a possibility. And it's something that I think that we should pay a little bit of attention to. But at the same time, I do think, gun to my head, we're just going to get a decent or good ladder match that ends with the champions retaining. And the champion is going to retain for everything tonight, I think. So that kind of takes us into the triple threat match for the NXT Womens Championship, which is Asuka versus Ruby Riott versus Nikki Cross. And originally, if you were not following this story, Ember Moon was supposed to be a part of this match. But when they, had the plans for the Fatal 4-Way, they didn't have plans for her to get injured. Of course, that takes a little bit of, different direction when it comes to that. And at first I thought, oh, this is their means to have Asuka lose the title. She doesn't get pinned, but she moves to the main roster, that kind of a thing. Then I started thinking about it. We have a pretty stacked enough roster on SmackDown right now. Raw is doing pretty well. Neither of those rosters need Asuka at the moment. Without Emma on the Raw roster, that kind of hinders it a little bit, but not the most thing in the world. I mean, we still have Nia Jax, we still have Alicia Fox, we still have Alexa Bliss for the heels. And with SmackDown, I don't think that the Charlotte story is really going to stick. I think that they're going to turn her heel again. So that's another heel. Asuka is pretty much firmly a heel right now, I think. And if she were to move to the main roster, somebody would either turn, whether it's, Charlotte or Natty or I don't even know about Monday Night Raw. But I am leaning more towards the idea that this wasn't Ember Moon's time to win the belt, that she's going to win it at Brooklyn, but that the idea of the Fatal 4-Way was to have Ember Moon lose without having to actually take a second pinfall. Because if they drag out the Asuka thing for just a little bit longer, they could do Ember Moon versus Asuka for, like she came so close and Asuka had to cheat. Then the Fatal 4-Way would have been she came so close, but Asuka stole the pin on like Ruby Riott or something like that. And then you get now it's just one-on-one. It's two of us. Maybe it's like in a steel cage or something like that. I don't know. And that's when Ember Moon wins. Asuka moves up to the main roster for that second half of the year after, or it's not even the second half of the year because it's technically September, but September, October, November, December, heading into, building up a little bit of steam to be a bigger player as far as WrestleMania goes. Now, if we have this triple threat match without Ember Moon in the mix, we know that Ember Moon isn't going to win the title. And I highly, highly doubt that Ruby Riott or Nikki Cross is going to win the title. So right now, firmly more than anything else, I think Asuka is 100% retaining. And without Ember Moon in the mix, I'm just not as interested in it. And the same sort of applies a little bit to Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami for the NXT Championship, because Hideo Itami is a guy that I've just sort of lost interest in a while back. I mean, he is not somebody who sucks. He's not the type of guy that annoys me on the roster or anything like that, but he's spent so much time injured that I feel like he's almost a brand new superstar, but somebody that we don't have that brand new vibe for. So with him being in his situation the way that he is, it's untrustworthy to put the title on him. And really, would anybody want Bobby Roode to lose to Hideo Itami? We do have Cassius Ohno. We do have Roderick Strong, who I think is going to be the next champion, by the way. We do have Eric Young. We have Drew McIntyre, Aleister Black. There's a lot of people that could win that title instead of Hideo Itami. I think that this is a situation where Itami is a placeholder and he has his match. By the time Brooklyn comes along, we're going to have a much, much better title feud going on, and he's going to be, wrestling Andrade Almas or something like that. So I do think Bobby Roode is going to be retaining. I think that that's another sound, almost 100% guarantee. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I mean, it's not like one of those things where it's like they can't possibly go with Hideo Itami. They could. I just really can't see it happening whatsoever. So with all those matches, I think that this card's going to be the worst out of the NXT cards. And I'm not really all that much looking forward to it. But I hope that you guys are in brighter spirits for it. And if you are, let me know what you think. Drop those comments below in the comments section on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, go to the website, the page where this will be posted with the predictions and stuff. Drop your predictions that way. And with anything else that's happening as far as NXT TakeOver, I don't think that we're going to see anything else. But, if that's the case, just keep checking smarkoutmoment.com. In the meantime, NXT TakeOver Chicago is happening Saturday night. So, of course, we're going to be doing live coverage of that. And then after the live coverage is the review and results post-show. So stay tuned for that stuff. The next time you're going to be hearing my voice, though, is going to be our predictions for Backlash 2017, because that's happening this weekend, too. No special Smack Talk for the UK title thing. That's just, pre-taped sort of whatever. But we do have the rest of the pay-per-view stuff for the rest of the week, so if you want to know when those videos go up, hit that subscribe button on YouTube and that little bell icon. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll be seeing you next time, everybody. This has been another Smark Out moment, and I'm being counted out.